A bitter pill to swallow.
Don't get frostbite.
Free.
Just like we rehearsed.
Taking a turn for the better. Mind the side effects. A bitter pill to swallow.
Leave it all to me. As a good knight should.
Dr. Baiju, how serious is it? Is she...
I can still feel a pulse, but her condition is quite grave. The god remains here are encroaching on her cognition, much as the poison in your system did to you. If we don't eliminate it soon, then even...
Then, what are we waiting for? Let's destroy the remains right away! It's not as simple as that. Don't you remember what Baiju said? The poison within Jialiang's body is... If the source is purged, the poison in his system will stop having any effect. And the poison within Oh no. Are you saying...
Indeed. If the god remains here are purged...
I wondered when this day might come.
Wait! But we've all been working our butts off to save Jialiang's life! After all that, we can't just give up on him! Baiju, you're a great doctor! Surely you gotta know if...
You could continue to take the poison, which would buy you some time.
It appears to me that she was striving to concoct your medicine for you, right?
Dr. Baiju, give it to me straight. How?
The god remains have reached her internal organs.
But what would be the... Dr. Baiju, if I continue to sustain my own life using this wretched substance, I know for a fact that I should have died over a decade ago. If my choice can bring Jiangli back...
Jialiang...
After cheating death for so long, it seems I've grown somewhat addicted to life.
Of course.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry that I won't be able to repay your kindness in this life.
Jialiang...
I am sure that over the years, Jiangli will have tried all the conventional methods known to humankind. As for less
Mortals are fated to grow old and pass on when their natural lifespan runs out. If it were so easy to combat the natural processes of aging and death, Jiangli would not have had to What a crazy situation! Jiangli risked it all to save Jialiang's life, and now...
I've seen many final farewells in my time, but I can never get used to it.
In the human realm, all things must come to an end. Is it not a fitting end to die for a worthy cause? At least, that's what generations of masters before you have always believed.
The path they chose was indeed a heroic one. But when I think of those who would willingly sacrifice themselves for others, I cannot help but think that theirs are the lives least deserving of death.
When all this began, we agreed that once Ayu was old enough to help you gather herbs, it would be time for me to go. If you could only see him now. He took me all the way to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. And he even got the Adventurers Guild to search for you. So, I know that you'll both be okay without me. I've said my goodbyes. My time has come. Do what you must.
As you wish.
fade away.
I'll take it.
Mom, something's really wrong with Dad. Don't.
Why would these memories come to mind now? The longer we live, the tighter. Oh, how I would love to hear your voice one last time.
Jialiang. Jialiang! Jialiang! Dad, are you awake?
Didn't I... Huh? What are these?
How does it feel to come back to life?
Do you feel strange or different in any way? If so, could you describe it to me in detail?
Dr. Baiju, I thought that I was going to...
Die? You did indeed. As things stand now, you're more akin to a zombie than...
I'm a zombie?
That's right. Before we set off, I asked Chi-Chi to prepare an elixir of immortality. With its help, you have been suspended in the space between life and death. Of course, this is but a crude imitation of an Adeptus art. I don't expect it to extend your life indefinitely. Whether it will keep you alive for a few days, a few months, or a few... But, however long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before departing the world in peace.
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh. Leave it to you to work.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no effect were it not for Jialiang's iron will. In the end, I am merely... All I know is that if I'm presented with a life that deserves to be saved, I will do everything in my power, and even this would have counted for nothing without Director Who's assistance.
Oops. And...
Without Director Who nudging things in the right direction.
No wonder he didn't mention the elixir back then. I thought he was...
Director Who told me to keep her suggestion as...
Never underestimate.
All I wanted was to help Jialiang find his missing wife as soon as possible, so that he could leave it to Boo Boo Pharmacy to snatch the perfect opportunity. One Chi-Chi was enough of a conundrum. The last thing I need's another one.
You stay away from my dad! When I grow up, I'm gonna become an even better doctor than Mom and Baiju, and cure Dad for good!
Oh, is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first person who's tried to put Wangsheng Funeral Parlor out of business. Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you all another...
All's well that ends well. If you ask... At times like this, a grand celebratory feast...
It feels like it was a whole lifetime ago when I last talked with Zhongli and Ayu around the dinner table.
Yay! Paimon can't wait! Alright, first things first, off to the market for some fresh ingredients.
Wait up! I'll come to— Baiju, thank you so...
Don't mention it, Jiangli. I was just doing my...
Just your duty, huh? Baiju.
Time flies. It's been so long since we bade each other farewell in Chenyu Vale. Changshang, you're the same as ever. You haven't changed one bit.
You, on the other hand, have changed a lot.
You're right. My younger self would have never imagined that things would one day turn out this way. Or that you'd turn out this way, Baizhu. I've taken a look at your elixir of immortality.
I have to say, Jiangli, it was a stroke of genius.
No, not at all. With your intel, but I'm still impressed by how quickly. Not just that. Baizhu, be honest with me.
Huh. Told you the truth.
Life force isn't the only thing that Changshang's contract lets you transfer between bodies, is it?
Nothing gets past you, Jiangli. You are correct. Besides life force, Changsheng's secret art also allows for the transfer of toxins and diseases. When I treated Jia Liang for the second time, there is no need to worry about any long-term consequences to my...
But you took such a huge risk. If we hadn't What am I saying? The reason I left our master and went into hiding all those years ago was that he was getting old. And I didn't want him using up any more of his own life force to treat my husband. But in the end, how were my methods any different? I risked one life to save another. And then you tried the poison on yourself, too. It looks like both of us have ended up going the same way as our master before us. Are all disciples of Chenyu Vale destined to turn out this way? To live a short life, haven't given away our own for the sake of others? To fight relentlessly against the natural course of life and death, whatever the cost?
We are doctors, Jiangli. We ought never say that anyone's fate is sealed.
Baizhu, I can tell that, over the years, you've used the contract with Changshang to transfer many diseases and toxins to yourself. There are so many that, some of them, I don't even recognize. Can you still stop before it's too late?
I think you know the answer, Jiangli. Every one of us from Chenyu Vale believes in the same thing.
Hey, food's ready!
Mom, come and join us. The Traveler taught me a load of new recipes and said even...
Yes, darling. Mom will be there in just a second. Baizhu, I know I won't be able to convince you, but Chi-Chi, Gui, and all the friends who have grown fond of you...
There's no need to worry, Jiangli. I know what I'm doing.
Baizhu, what did Jiang Li mean by not around anymore? Are you gonna be okay? Every single mortal I've ever contracted with. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. You said that the contract with you helps people live longer.
It is a very long story.
Long ago, when plagues ravaged the land, one doctor made a pledge to rid the world of pain and suffering. But even the most ingenious mortal medicine could not stay the tide of disease. And after working tirelessly for many years, even his dearest loved ones fell sick and bade their final farewell. Legends told of an herb lord in Chenyu Vale who could cure any illness known to mankind. The doctor sought the herb lord, but found only a white snake, its breathing weak and its power all but spent.
Sign this contract and let our lives be joined. then I will impart to you the secret art of healing. But be warned, this art will harm your own health.
With means beyond human ken, the doctor could now reverse the process of death. And yet, the time still came to say goodbye. Only now, the one departing was the doctor, his life force spent. His final act in life was to pass on the contract to his final patient, his favorite disciple. The disciple chose to dedicate their life to saving the lives of others. And generation upon generation followed in these footsteps. Since I inherited this contract, I've always respected the path taken by my predecessors, and followed it myself unquestioningly. That is, until I tried to use the art to save my own disciple's beloved. She begged me not to use up my own life force. She said that this art is a poison chalice, an evil and unnatural practice. She did not wish to sacrifice one life for the sake of another, when both were lives she treasured. Only then did it occur to me. Did I not suffer when my master passed away, just as patients' families do at their loved one's deathbed? Are not the lives cut short by this contract just as worthy of saving as any patients? What is this contract to us? Medicine or poison? Alas, I no longer have enough time left to find the answer. I entrust to your care both Changsheng and this final question. May you find a remedy for this conundrum, which has ailed us so.
Time and again, no matter how much I try to warn them or balance their chi, I can never save them. And you? What's your answer?
If I abandoned the contract and left you without a host, what would happen?
I suppose I'd spend my final moments taking a nice nap on Mount Yaojin. Then I'd be reunited with my old friends and your predecessors.
Then it's decided. If there's a life in front of me that deserves to be saved, why shouldn't I do everything within my power to save it?
Once again, it's the same answer. So be it. Close your eyes. Who knows how many more people will take on this contract?
None. This contract will end with me.
My contract has strict requirements on the host's natural temperament. All my hosts have been most pure of heart.
But when one with an altruistic nature gains access to this art, they are more seduced than the average person by the miracle of overturning the laws of life and death. Though they know better than anyone else the fate that awaits them, when faced with the sorrows of humanity and the pain of losing they are like moths that throw themselves into the flame, seeking a glimmer of hope in a dark world filled with pain and suffering.
So, Baiju, does that mean...
I suppose that would make me a moth that yearns for the light, but doesn't want to be... Changsheng's art can transfer pain and suffering between people, but it cannot reduce the total amount of pain in the world. It's just like we witnessed. I have nothing but the utmost respect for my predecessors, who sacrificed their lives for their principles. But I do not wish to...
Huh? But didn't you already transfer a ton of diseases onto yourself?
What makes a poison, poison? And what makes a disease? If disease is defined as deviation from normal functioning, then who knows? Perhaps the true elixir of immortality could in fact be a kind of poison. Many may view the notion of searching for immortality in poisons and illnesses as a flagrant violation of the natural order. But to me, it is no different from the way our ancestors tested the medicinal qualities of herbs by sampling each and every one. I don't want those who come after me to lose their lives to this contract. Nor do I wish for Chengsheng to perish from losing her host. This leaves only one solution, doesn't it? Precisely. I will be Chengsheng's final host, and the tradition of passing down the contract will end with me.
Even the gods of old struggled to achieve true immortality. First you want to save others, then you want to save yourself. Now you even want to save me. You're getting greedy, Baiju.
But isn't wanting to have it all what makes us human? For a selfish moth like me, who's afraid of the flame yet yearns for the light, the only path forward is up towards the moon.
For once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
Dr. Baiju, Traveler, what are you still chatting about? The food's about to get cold.
We also have coconut milk for Changsheng and Paimon.
Okay, fine. Let's go grab some food. Paimon has a bunch of burning questions, but I do envy Paimon sometimes. Eating her fill isn't...
True. And yet, are such things as these not precisely...
No.
Leave it all to me. Steady as stone. I can patch myself up.
Windblade! With the wind!
Let's finish this, swiftly.
I'll bring my seasonings.
Retribution! Ha! Ha! Ha!
Is this an answer from this world? Windblade!
Ha! 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 Burn! Ha!
There can be no excuse for defeat.
Booba, get them!
I knew this day would come.
Nice and spicy! Booba, get them! Eat this!
My blade has been extinguished. Disappear! Windblade! Windblade!
No! Did I throw it? Everything?
Is Daddy on top of that mountain?